Sat Sri Akal. Welcome to That Panjabi Couple. I am your host, Manpreet Singh, along with.
I'm Tania Kaur.
And today we're going to talk about something that hit us 5 years ago, which is raising kids and being parents. And there's a lot of stuff that comes along with that. There's a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
There's, of course, joyous moments. There's challenges and the whole Punjabi culture, family, Sikhi. So we want to talk about all that today and just show how we're navigating it and maybe get ideas from everybody else that's
Yeah.
navigating it as well.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I mean, definitely loads of fun. I think more fun than challenges.
Yeah.
So I guess I wanted to start off just talking about what does our day-to-day house look like with kids. We have two girls, Pansaldi and Tinsaldi. Well,
Right.
she's going to be 6 actually,
Right.
pretty soon. So they're both pretty, independent. They have their own personalities. How do we juggle disciplining them? How do we juggle, when we have disagreements on how to discipline them or things
Right.
like that on a day-to-day basis? So with disciplining, I am a firm believer that you don't need punishments. I don't give them timeouts. I don't say, go to your room, you're punished or things like that. I never say like you're a bad girl. I just feel like things I've read over time, kids absorb what you tell them. They will absorb what you say about them when you talk about them in front of other people. And that, I think, becomes their voice, and their perception of themselves. So when it comes to disciplining, let's say if, our little one hit our older one, which happens more often than not, छोटी ठोक देती है बड़ी रोना शुरू कर देती है. I definitely go there. I get down on their level. I try not to yell. It's very hard, especially when the younger one is a little more demanding and independent, and she's more sassy. But hitting, we don't tolerate. I get on their level. I make sure, Muskan is okay, the older one, whoever got hit. I make sure they're okay. Um, and then I will definitely say, that is not okay. But I want to also tell them, what do you do? Usually it's because, she's not playing with her sister or they want the same toy at the same time and they don't know how to verbalize themselves yet. So there's always a reason, I feel like. So I always want to tell them, this is what you can do. I understand you got angry, you got upset. We've all been there. But this is how you can handle it. I think sometimes it seems trivial, like you're talking to a 3-year-old and you're like, they don't know what they're doing. They're not going to understand us. But I think that really helps. So that's been working for me, I feel like, when we do tell them, this is not acceptable, but this is what you can do. This is how you can handle it next time.
Yeah, I know. I'm very abrupt and I'm very like, I don't want anybody hitting anybody.
Right.
So
Of course.
when the little one doesn't listen, I I don't want to say I go crazy, but I'm like, I'm
He
loud.
goes crazy.
I'm like, I'm loud, and I'm like, "What are you doing? That's your sister. What's wrong with you?" Like she like knows what I'm saying.
Basically the opposite of what I'm trying to do.
Yeah. Because I want her to know because she she doesn't want to upset me. Like both kids don't want to upset.
Right.
And when I get upset, they get very like, "I'm sorry, Papa. I already said sorry. Okay, I'm sorry." So they say that,
Yeah.
but yeah. So I don't believe in punishments either, and I let you, handle all those things honestly, because I'm like, this is probably a better way. But I don't like to see, and nobody likes to see their kids fight,
Right.
argue, or hit each other or be angry
Yeah.
at each other. They just want everyone to play along, get along, everybody
Yeah.
eat their food and go to sleep. Really, but it's funny because they both have different personalities. Like
Totally different. Yeah.
I could never ever, and Muskan has never done. She's
Our
turning
older
6.
one.
Yeah, she's
Yeah.
turning 6 in June. She has never hit anybody.
Yeah.
Even if I tell her, oh, somebody's on the playground, just sucker punch them right in the stomach. It's okay. Like she,
When have you told them that?
I'm
When
one of
did
those
that
parents. I'm
happen?
one of those parents. Someone pushes you, push them back harder.
I agree.
But she never hits anybody.
No.
She's more emotional. She's more warm. So she has not. So when she gets hit, she doesn't even hit Dea back. She doesn't do anything. She doesn't push Dea.
Yeah.
She doesn't do anything. She complains, tattletales, or cries.
Right.
So it's, but Dea, they're just different people.
Yeah.
And Dea doesn't,
Dea doesn't show any Dea
no,
sometimes.
no, no. Compassion is here, and sometimes it's there and sometimes it's non-existent with Dea.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're just totally two
Yeah.
different
But then
people.
again, Muskan is older. I think she was brought up differently. Even though they're in the same household, we parented them differently. By the time the second bacha comes along, you're a little bit more confident. You're not that new time parent that's like afraid of everything. You're more tolerant, I guess. So the second bacha, I think, has to be sometimes a little louder, a little more
Yeah,
aggressive to be heard.
yeah,
And that may be their personality too, but I think it's a combination of that they are sometimes she's a little too dramatic for her own good.
yeah. She is.
So she's not
She know,
afraid to show her emotions.
but she knows how to play the drama card. She follows everything Muskan does anyway.
Yes.
She wants to be like
Yeah.
Muskan.
I mean, just for the record, they are both great together. When it does happen, it's not like all the time. It's not very often that they hit each other or
that's true.
they get hit.
That's true.
So they do love each other and they have more good times than bad. But, I do want to make sure that when something does go wrong and they don't get along, they have the tools to handle it.
Right.
Because I think that will help them later on in life too.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I just feel like when you go crazy, because that happens more often, that you don't want anyone to get hurt, you just want them to be playing and lovey-dovey all the time. But we model emotions, how to regulate our emotions. We model that for them. And I think I believe this too, that it's more about how you set an example more than what you say. So you can say, oh yeah, don't yell, don't don't get too angry, and don't hit your sister, and don't show anger.
Yeah.
But do we exemplify that? So do we regulate our emotions if something's bothering us?
Yeah.
Do we not yell?
Yeah.
Do we not have blowouts?
Right.
They see that, right?
Right.
So she's 3 right now and they're 5. She's 5 right now, but in another couple of years she's going to be like, well, you tell me to do this, but you don't do it yourself.
No, kids definitely emulate behavior more than whatever you say.
Yeah.
So the way we're like, they're going to act like that as well. So behavior is big.
Yeah.
It's all about behavior in kids, I think. So the more they see us doing certain things, that's how they want to be too. They don't know any better.
Right. I think that's where we disagree sometimes is, how do we regulate our emotions in front of them, or how do we address, like, you will make sure that they know they did something wrong, right? But how do you tell them that I think differs from how I show them that they did something wrong. I will tell them, I will verbalize and be like, listen, this is not acceptable. If you need time, you can move away or whatever. And you're more like, why would you do that?
Yeah.
Which is normal too. I mean, I want to do that too sometimes, but I just feel like I don't want to make them feel like something's wrong with them, right? It's just what they chose to do, and they can change that behavior. I feel like when you say, you're so bad, or like, not you specifically, you don't say that, but when we tell our kids, like, you're such a bad boy or such a bad girl, or, things like that, that is attacking them, like their personality.
Yeah.
Right? That's not what you want to do. I feel like we want to make sure they made a wrong choice. You can change your choices.
Right.
So I just feel like I want to make that clear to them, which I try to do.
Yeah, I think so.
All right. So what else on a day-to-day basis we deal with screen time?
Right. That's a big thing with kids. That's a big thing with kids. And I got some thoughts on that. but everyone I know that has kids, so I'm at that age where everyone has kids.
Yeah.
Most people
Yeah.
have kids. Either people I know people with one kid, and I know people with four kids. So everyone
Yeah.
has kids, and everyone regulates screen time differently. Everyone has thoughts on screen time. Everybody's like, no, it's only like 10 minutes this or half hour, and that's it. And then they're going to do this. Then they have to read and play and do other things and
Mhm.
whatever. And my thoughts are very different than screen time too. So I don't know if this is like, I don't think this is a hot take or anything like that. I don't think
Here
it's
we
a,
go.
no, no, I don't think it's a hot take, whatever. But it all depends. Everybody, there's no one blanket like type that fits all. Like everybody has different kids. Everybody
Mhm.
has different households. Everybody has
Different
different parents,
personalities.
personalities. Okay, your kid likes 10 minutes of screen time. The other kid's 30 minutes, and they might be both okay.
Right.
Not, there's these are not universal laws, and everyone's dealing with screen time differently. They didn't have screen time 20 years ago.
Nope.
So what you're like saying about screen time now and what's going to happen 10 years or 5 years from now, you don't know.
We don't
These are all
know.
guesses.
Right.
And it comes from a good place where like, hey, limit the exposure to screens and all that. And I totally agree. You should
Mhm.
limit exposure to screens, but I have seen kids where their screen time is more than other kids. Those
Mhm.
other kids are like juvenile delinquents, like just crazy kids. They're off the walls. They don't
Yeah.
listen. They can't sit
Can't
still.
sit still. That's a
They,
big thing too.
they can't sit
Kids.
still. And it's like,
Yeah.
oh, because you limited screen time, right? So shouldn't your kid be a little better in these areas? Like, okay, you limited
Yeah.
your screen time, but where's the respect for elders? How do they get along with other kids?
Yeah.
So mine's is like, okay, if your kid's a good kid,
Mhm.
they want 5, 10, 20 minutes extra of screen time. Okay, not a big deal. They're going to be on screens for the rest of their lives. You cannot stop this.
Right.
This is just iPads and iPhones and maybe TVs, but it's only going to get more crazier.
Yeah.
So it's not like, are we going to limit screen time and things like that, which I think you should, but it's more like, what is your kid, how does your kid behave if they're not on the screen?
Right. Right. I mean, can they like, you know, be welcoming to other people? Do they have good manners? Like those are the basic things that,
Right.
with or without screen time, like that has to be there. But I think when you talk about screen time also is, the age of the child. I know or we've seen young kids just, you know, being in front of a screen because it's tough to keep kids entertained and to constantly run after them and to, especially
Yeah.
for like new parents, you want your own time. You want downtime, and sometimes it's just easy to put the kid in front of a screen and they'll eat chup chap karke, they'll eat that
Yeah.
roti, and it's peaceful for everybody. So I
Right.
get it. But I also think what what are they watching? Like, are they old enough to regulate what are they watching? Shows these days can be they're crazy. Some shows are it's I don't understand. It's like wacky people dancing and constant like the images are constantly changing. I feel like that can't be good. For a young brain that's developing, like you want something that is a little bit more like calm, something where they're learning, something where someone's talking normally, not like da 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 da. It's I just feel like for their brain that can't be good for a young baby or a young child. So I personally YouTube Shorts is the bane of my existence. I hate it when our kids watch YouTube and then they just get on the short videos and then it's just flipping
Uh,
every like 5 seconds. And that's when I stop it. I'm like, either you watch something which makes you laugh or teaches you something, or you turn it off. So to me, I mean, that's where I draw the line. I don't like those videos. We do it. We all do it. I hand them the phone sometimes. I'm busy. We're out, whatever. But when I do see them and I can stop it, I don't like them watching YouTube shorts.
yeah, me
So,
too. I don't like them watching that
yeah.
either.
So I love
Yeah.
them watching things where, they're learning, they're doing
Yeah.
arts and crafts, or they're watching movies or something like that. I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
Because I feel like your attention span can be a little bit more elongated.
Right. No, and that's a big thing.
Yeah.
But they don't have attention spans anymore. So,
But
and I'm not for screen time for kids that are like 1 or 2. But if you're
yeah.
over 2, your kid knows how to. They're going to start using an iPad, start
Right.
clicking on buttons, start typing,
Right.
start knowing ABCs, and they'll type the
Yes.
ABCs. So they're going to be used to an iPad
Yeah, they
anyway.
learned a lot. I feel like our kids
No,
definitely
they
learned
did.
a lot from YouTube, like stuff I
They
couldn't teach
did.
them. They
They
knew their
did.
ABCs, all their
Yeah.
colors, numbers, all these things that we didn't really teach them.
Yeah. Thank you to Super Simple Kids and Miss Rachel for
Yes,
sure.
and Katie.
Yeah.
Katie's
Super Simple.
classroom.
Yeah.
Super simple. Like, yeah.
Yeah. No, they were great. They
Yeah.
were great. I mean, those are good things because those you sit, you watch
Yeah.
while you eat. That's fine.
Right.
But the shorts and
I was that parent in the beginning who said no screen time ever,
yeah.
but that didn't last long. I'm married to like the most techiest guy, Panjabi guy on the planet. So, I mean, that was a losing battle for me.
Yeah.
But I do definitely think it needs to be timed. And I think I enforce that maybe a little more than you do.
Yeah.
You like readily hand it out to them.
You know what the thing is? I honestly, this is, and this is just me personally too, and our kids. The thing is that our kids are nice kids.
Yeah.
They don't. I've seen, and I've been to, and I go to all these kids' parties now, and we have friends with kids, and I've seen kids just off the walls, off the charts, don't listen, don't know how to eat, don't know how to, uh, say sasikal and just sit there quietly.
Yeah.
Like I have seen, but our kids do all that.
Right.
Our kids could
For the
go.
most part,
If I was like, "Hey, sit on a sofa, just sit here," they're like, "Okay."
Yeah.
They sit over here, okay. Like they will just listen to me, and then I look at my kids. And I'm not comparing this is good or bad. I don't people get all crazy. Like everyone has different households, different life, different personalities for their kids. I totally get it.
Yeah.
But the girls are so nice and they're so good, and they don't ask me for much anyway. The only thing they ask me for is if I could have some ice cream or a chocolate chip cookie, right? And they do the rest of their stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, our kid started doing her homework in the bus before she got home. And I'm like, God damn. And so when she started doing that, and now she wants like, oh, Papa, can I watch 5 more minutes of this? I'm like, sure.
Yeah.
That's fine. Because overall, you're a nice person that does all these other things that we tell you to. So for me, I don't mind the screen time like that. I'm like, okay, you want more? You want 5-10 minutes more? Totally cool. So yeah, of course, regulate what they're watching. But I don't think it's going to rewire her brain or let her go crazy. She's like the same kid.
No, I don't think that extra 5 minutes is going to change anything.
Yeah.
But I do think it's just important to be consistent and to set those boundaries. So yeah. But I know they know when they can get away with it with you, and they know, that they can't get away with that. They don't ask me. You. So they never ask me for extra screen time, which
they never.
That's just how it is.
No, they always come up to me for sweets and screen time. They don't go to you at all.
Yeah, I know, because when I come down the stairs, I'll see like Dorito crumbs in their mouth, and everyone's just looking at me like they're the most innocent angels when you're around. So I know as soon as I turn my back, they ask you for all this stuff. But yeah, no, I do agree. Our kids are, they're good in that when we ask them to do something or we need them to stop, they will stop. And that's a big thing for me. If you can't stop when we ask you to, and you're just so addicted to it, and then it's becoming a daily argument or a daily problem, I think that's when you got to say, okay,
that's a problem.
Something's got to change here.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, something's got to change. Yeah.
Okay, so what about, again, day-to-day life, school? How are we dealing with, like, we live in, I would say, kind of a diverse neighborhood where there's a lot of Asians
and
Indians.
Pretty much it.
Actually, okay. I guess not diverse at all. I don't know what I was saying. But there's going to be a lot of competitiveness as they grow older, go into middle school or high school. What do we, or how are we, preparing for that? Are we going to be those parents that want to get them like extra tutoring so they could stay ahead and, be on top of their class all the time? Or are we going to kind of veer off of that and have our own kind of plan here?
Yeah, my thing on education is, so luckily my kids, I mean, we live in Herrick's,
Mm-hmm.
so they're going to the same school I went to, which is crazy. Um, but this is my take on education. I don't care about education. So I want them, and now people could be like, but you're in Herrick's, man. Of course you care about education. You're paying
Mm-hmm.
these taxes and you're going to a good school. Yes, yes, I
And you
do.
wanted to stay in
I
Harris.
wanted to stay in
Yeah.
Herrick's, yeah, for a multitude of reasons. But yes, I want to stay in Herrick's. But my take on education is with kids, I want them to just learn.
Mm-hmm.
I don't need. I'm one of those few probably parents, probably Punjabi parents on top of that, that I don't care about their grades.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care if you get all A's and everything. I don't care if you get B's or C's or whatever. I want you to go to school. I want you to learn social skills. I want you to be nice to kids. I want you to help kids. I want you to, uh, the subjects you are really interested in, I want you to do really well in those subjects. But
Mm-hmm.
if you're like, I love science, and you go, okay, get an A in science. I don't really like math. I got a C. Okay, I don't care. I already know how much. I mean, let's keep it real. We live in the real world. I know how much math you need in life, especially now with AI and calculus. You don't need that much. I don't care if
Yeah.
you know cosines of this and that don't mean jack to me.
Yeah.
For me, I want to raise good kids, kids that listen to their teachers, kids that are helpful, kids that are nice, respectful, kids that people come to our house, they show respect. We go to other people's house, they show respect. I want to
Mm-hmm.
raise good human beings. So
Okay.
for me, school, and then they're like, okay, so then the question is, then why are you going to a good school? The reason I'm going to a good school because I believe, and this is kind of what Sikhi teaches you too, which I try to tell people, I believe that Sangat is very important.
Mm-hmm.
And Sikhi believes that too. So for me, I'm actually paying for the Sangat. I'm actually paying uh, for them to be in a school district where the kids are ambitious, the kids want to
Mm-hmm.
do well, the kids are nice, the kids come from good homes, the good, and so then they interact with those kids.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe those kids want to be entrepreneurs or business people or, you know, creatives. Be
Yeah.
an actor, be an artist, be whatever. So I'm trying to put them in that. I'm trying to put them in the best position possible, but I don't. I'm not one of those kids that are parents that are going to dwell on grades. I
Mm-hmm.
could care less about the grades, honestly. Yeah, if you're failing every subject, something's wrong here. But if you get from A's,
Yeah.
if your thing is like you get C's, B's, and A's, all right, great.
Yeah.
It's totally cool with me. I'm
No.
I'm not one of those like we got to get the best SAT score. I'm gonna put you on tutors, and so there's more to life than education from school.
Right.
It's like
Traditional,
yeah,
elementary
yeah,
education. I
yeah, yeah,
agree.
yeah.
I
I don't know if
agree.
it's a famous rapper quote. Maybe Tupac said it, but school got in the way of my education. All right, so
That's a
yeah,
good one.
yeah.
I haven't
So
heard
it's
that.
education is more than that. What do you do outside of school?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. I mean, first of all, I never got the best grades. So, I'm not going to
Yeah.
be that. I mean, I can be that parent. I think we have the resources to get them tutoring and get them ahead and do all that, but I think I agree that we're going to choose not to do that. Um but at the same time, how do we keep them motivated? How do we keep them um, thinking that, okay, I want to work hard at this. So hard work, staying motivated. I think that's what we want to teach them. That if you love something, you're going to have to work hard at it. Yes, if you do something you love, it's not work all the time. It
All right.
feels great because you love it. But at the same time, how do we teach them that you don't give up? When something seems hard, you got to keep going, right? So I think that's what we talk about. At least I try to talk about that every day. So even if it's something like doing a math problem, you just came home from school, you just want to relax, you want to have your snack, watch TV, you don't want
Yeah.
to do homework, right? But I think we kind of do that where we say, all right, let's turn off the TV, let's do this. Sometimes she's in kindergarten. Sometimes I don't even understand the instructions in
I
kindergarten
know.
homework.
I know.
But how are we teaching her that, okay, if you don't understand something, let's try again. Let's reread it. Let's work on this as a team. You don't give up. So it's, I think, simple things like that, even if they're playing. If I see that she's trying to build something, or Muskan or they are trying to like draw something, they can't get it. They can't do it. They really want to make it perfect. It's not working out. It's something as simple as that, where I see that, and I want to tell them, I see you're trying really hard. That's great. Don't give up. Take a break. You can come back to it, but you're going to get it. So I just feel like I try to be aware, what are they doing? And it's not just about school, like you said. It's about emotional intelligence. It's about, social awareness. Um, so even when someone's at our house, like if her friend comes over and they both are like not agreeing, they want to do something different, each of them wants to play a different game, they can't come to an agreement, but I'll tell them, what can we do then? Let's talk about it. How about you do this first and we could do what she wants to do later, or vice versa? So I will praise that. I think when I see them doing something like that, talking it out, not giving up, um, you know, being motivated to finish this, whether it's your homework or whether it's like helping clean up, um,
Right.
that I will praise. And it seems like a little thing to us. Sometimes parents, we're so caught up in our day that we don't notice those things. Like if I see Dea bringing out a charu just to clean up like a little mess, which she did the other day, no one told her to do it. She just took it out herself and she cleaned it up. I praised her for that.
Yeah.
So I think doing things like that, and then also making them feel that, hey, school is not life, right? It's a part of your life, but it's not the end all and be all. Figure out what you like, we'll help you. But you want to work hard, whatever you want to do, work hard at it, stay motivated, and just try your best. So I think that's how, at least, I try to instill in them those qualities that maybe might help them down the road in school or even outside.
Right.
So yeah.
Right. And I don't want people to get the wrong idea. I want them to do their homework. You
Yeah.
have to do your homework.
Right, right. I
Whatever the
agree.
teachers obey, obey your teacher. Your
Yes.
teacher is there for a reason. So obey or do it. But I don't need you to like ace everything.
Yeah.
And we go to a competitive school anyway. I
Mm-hmm.
never want there in their heads that pressure of like they need to do better than this person or that person. Just do the best you can. That's totally fine. And for me, maybe I'm in marketing or something, but I think communication skills is the biggest thing I want to instill in them in terms of
Mm-hmm.
education and practice. So when they're older, middle school, I actually want them to, and the school might not do it, but I want them to take, and this is something, instead of like SAT courses, I want them to take public speaking courses. I want them to take
Mm.
communication courses because I think
Okay.
that will help them way better in their life
Yeah.
than, Pythagorean theorem,
Yeah.
right?
I still
So
have trouble with public speaking.
yeah, yeah. So many people do.
So
And I
it's
wish
definitely
my
a
parents,
problem.
I wish
Yeah.
I did that earlier. Like I did Toastmasters later on in life and all
Mm-hmm.
that stuff, but I wish I had those skills earlier. Warren Buffett, the people are like, well, what's the number one skill you ever learned? And he's one
Mm-hmm.
of the richest dudes on the planet. He's like, oh, I took a Dale Carnegie class on speaking, right? So
Mm.
public
Yeah.
speaking, communication, that I put more emphasis on those types of skills. The EQ knowledge over the IQ knowledge is all that
I
I'm all
agree.
about the EQ. I'm not about IQ at all.
So let me ask you a question. Since we are in this, school district, there's going to be kids that are just motivated. They want to be the best every time. They want to get ahead every time. I Do you think our kids might feel that they're not good enough if we're not stressing, or we're not putting in the extra tutoring, and then we're not doing the extra things, you know, because comparing yourself to other kids, that's a big thing too. What is your take, or what's your plan, or if you're already doing it, how are we going to teach them that you're your own person? You don't have to compare yourself to other kids.
Well,
I
hopefully,
mean, I'm an adult and I still compare myself to other people, so I don't know what to do here.
I don't compare myself to anybody. I lost that a long
Yeah, we
time
know.
ago. I lost that a long time ago. No, I mean, it all depends what they want. Do they want
Yeah.
to be better? Do they want to take extra classes because they want to really ace this class and stuff? Sure, here you go. Let's
Yeah.
take the extra classes. But I'm not going to force it upon them,
Mhm.
right? And hopefully, the way we're teaching Sikhi to them is not following the masses. Be
Mm.
your own person. Be unique. It's not all about the grades. There's more other things that we're going to do in life than
Yeah.
go to school. But if they still feel like, oh, this one class and they're very competitive too, or maybe I'm saying this and maybe one of my kids wants to be like that smarty brainiac and do
Mm.
all those things, totally cool with me. I
Yeah.
will feel that passion. I just want to feel their passions. I want to work on their I want to be on the offense. I don't want to work on their weaknesses. I just want to work on their strengths and
I
feel the
agree.
strengths. And I'm not going to care that much about weaknesses
Yeah.
unless the weakness is unless the weakness is uh, the social skills part, right?
Mm.
Respecting people, being kind to others, and all that. That is we're going to work on.
Yes.
But the strengths on what they want to do in life,
Academic stuff.
yeah, it's all good
Right.
with me.
Yeah. I agree. I agree. Work on their strengths. But I mean, last thing, and I think we'll move on, but how do we figure out what their strengths are?
It'll come.
I
Well,
just feel
no,
like sometimes me as a mom, I feel like I don't want them to get left behind, because there's so many parents that are taking their kids to this class and that class and exposing them to dance or swimming and soccer and this and that.
which
And
we should, which
right,
we
we
should, because
should.
then we're not going to know.
But I feel like
Yeah,
the more we expose them to different things, that's how they'll know,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
So
It's all. I'm all about
we
that.
have to
Like we already
expose them.
know one's 5, one's 3. We already know which one's more sporty and
Yeah.
which one doesn't care about sports
Yeah.
already, right? So
But
we're
we
just
don't
gonna
know. I mean, we think she doesn't care about sports, Muskan, because she's just always so chill and she doesn't have to like be on the go and not as energetic as our younger one, but she's never really been in sports. So she might like it. We just don't know. We have
right,
to expose
right,
her to it.
right.
So I think that's as a parent, that's where we come in. We should be able to pick up on what are their strengths.
Yeah,
Where can we
that's our
push
job.
them?
Isn't that our job?
And
isn't that isn't
yeah,
that like the parent job?
I know.
Like,
I
oh,
think
look at your kid, see what they like, and if the
yeah,
good things they like, fuel that. I mean, that's like parenting
it's
101. Am I
easy to
missing something?
I feel like uh, parents sometimes just across the board, they push their kids into everything, So I don't think sometimes we maybe miss that, oh, maybe my child just isn't that's just not my child's personality to excel in everything. But they love doing this. So maybe I'm going to push my child more into, this part of academia or this subject to help them gain confidence. Because I think that's what it is. You want your child to be confident, right?
Right,
So if
right,
we keep pushing them to do what they're maybe weak in and they don't have an interest in, and we don't emphasize their strengths, that kind of kills their confidence.
right.
Right. So I think
I don't.
sometimes I've seen that maybe when I was growing up, but even now, like with young kids, I think parents just want their kids to do well in everything.
Yeah,
But yeah, I try to at least I want to be aware, like what is she good at, what is she not.
yeah. I read
Um,
this book a long time ago, Robert
mhm.
Fulghum's book. Everything I know, I learned in kindergarten. It was a crazy book. It was a real good book. So
Okay.
kind of reminded me of this conversation. But yeah, I think we'll be fine. I think they're young. I mean, I don't even care about those things that much. But I definitely am not going to do the Punjabi thing. And this is what every Punjabi parent does. Hopefully, Punjabi parents don't do it now in our every Punjabi parent that I know, and hopefully not in this generation, but I'm sure Punjabis in our generation do it too. I don't compare my kids to any other kids.
Hmm,
I don't
I
care
know.
about other kids in the sense like, oh, what they're doing, or my child's left behind, or my child, or their child's doing X, Y, Z.
Yeah.
My child, everyone's doing what they want to do, and it's totally cool. But I don't compare my kids to anyone. I don't keep up with the Joneses. I don't care what
Yeah.
other people are doing. It doesn't matter to me.
Yeah.
My kids, because I've seen kids that have gone to are going to private school,
Hmm.
and I've seen kids that do all these things, but they can't socialize with anyone, or they never listen to their parents, or they talk back, or they can't sit still. It's like, okay, like those are some skills that you should teach your kids
Yeah.
too, and that's, I'm more about that than if your kid knows the Pythagorean theorem in, second grade. Like, I don't care.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's my thing.
Okay. So let's see. How are we navigating celebrating? I guess balancing between American culture,
Yeah.
Sikh Punjabi culture, celebrating the holidays.
Yeah.
How does that look in our house? I mean, I know how it looks. Actually, it doesn't look
So
good.
how do we bring in Sikh holidays into
Yes.
the American culture?
Yeah.
I want them to celebrate every American holiday.
Mhm.
I want them to celebrate Thanksgiving, celebrate Christmas, celebrate July 4th. I want them to celebrate every American. Hello, we're Americans.
Yes.
So we celebrate that. And I love celebrating that.
Yeah.
I love celebrating those things.
I do
So how do we
too.
bring in Sikh holidays? So my Tayaji, who passed away, he's like, what's, and he told me this before kids, but he's like, what's a good thing to do with kids? He's like, little kids, not older kids, but when your kids are little, because Christmas comes around and
Mhm.
everyone gets gifts. So she's like, "Jado Vasaki ondia, Gurpurb ondia, take your kid out,
Mhm.
take him somewhere, get him a gift too. Maybe
Yeah.
for Vasaki, get him a gift, get him something that they want. Maybe so do those things. So it kind of goes with American culture too.
Yeah.
Yet you're sick too, and then you teach them about Sikhi, you teach them about gurus, what they did, and maybe if you teach them right, maybe they don't want those gifts later. Maybe they're like, nahi, 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 aisi share kariye, vanchakiye. So
Mm.
that's what my Tayaji taught me, and which I think is great. I think
That's
it's good
beautiful.
to bring it in,
Yeah,
yeah,
I agree.
and they'll relate to that, and
Yep.
especially when they're younger, they relate the gift part. When they're older, how to share, what to do. Oh, okay, Gurpa Bharya, what could we do
Mhm.
to help others? Hopefully,
Mhm.
so yeah,
Yeah, no,
that's
I
what.
agree. I growing up, I mean, I had an extended family, lots of cousins, mummies, mamajis, buajis. That was the thing we did for Basaki. Everyone got together. They all picked a name out of a bag, and whatever child's name you got, you get them a gift for Basaki, and it was exciting for us. It was like we looked forward to it. We knew ki Basaki Aria, and it was fun. So yeah, I think that's really beautiful, something to do with our kids. And our kids now, they're definitely getting older to the age where they can start getting excited about these things and we can teach them. I think now we have like a good routine going, and we're not in that new parent stage anymore. So we definitely need to start getting on that and doing that more. This past Vasaki, I think we tried to make it exciting, but we could do more. We could definitely do more. We celebrate pretty much all the American holidays just because it's so easy and convenient. They do it in school, 4th of July, Christmas. I mean, we decorated the place for Christmas and it was just so fun. But Vasaki is definitely, I mean, our kids know about Vasaki, but I think now that they're getting older, and we are becoming more aware, right, that they look forward to things, we should definitely work better and work harder on making Vasaki like a big thing in our house, you know, celebrating with family. What's the importance of Vasaki? Just the basic stuff. So
Right.
yeah,
I agree.
I think we need to
I
do that.
agree. Yeah, we need to do more of that.
Definitely.
We need to do more of that. Bring more Sikh culture into
Yeah.
American culture
Yeah.
and
And I always thought,
assimilate.
because I grew up in Richmond Hill, it was Panjabi culture. I didn't have too many white friends or white families, but mostly everyone was Indian or Guyanese, Punjabi, some sort of Indian. So it didn't really hit me. But now, when I have my own kids, I feel like I want to involve myself. I want to celebrate American holidays and Gurpurab and Vaisakhi. Like I want to make it a thing in our household. Growing
Yeah.
up, we never did that. My parents were always working, and I never really cared. But we were at a barbecue recently, our cousin's house, and one of our cousins, my sister in law's mom, she was like, you know, always brought up her kids every year. She celebrated all the American holidays as they grew up here, and she made it a big thing in her household, and that she kind of inspired me. Like, I want to do that because now my sister-in-law, whose mom did that, I feel like she does it, with our kids, right? And it's so sweet. It's so beautiful. And she does it with her kid. And it's so nice and exciting. The kids like light up. So, being involved, celebrating all the holidays and putting in the time, you know, Easter and whatever other holidays, Christmas, you're like, oh man, I don't want to do anything. It's not really important. But when you do put in the time and you do a little something with the kids, it's memorable
Yeah.
when
No, it
you do
is.
that.
It
So
is.
I think it's very important to just give the time and to do that.
Right.
But we have to make it a point to do more of the Sikhi, the Gurpurabs, and making Vaisakhi like a big thing.
For
So
sure.
yeah.
For sure. Agree.
This kind of goes into the next topic: is how are we teaching our kids about the importance of Punjabi Boli?
I know.
ਆਪਾਂ ਹੁਣ ਪੰਜਾਬੀ ਬੋਲਦੇ ਨਹੀਂ. Somebody
I
actually
know.
stopped us in the dollar store, an uncle and an auntie ji, and he was like, "Bete, Punjabi थोड़ी ज़्यादा बोले हो अपने बच्चे." I was like, "Oh no, this is so bad." I try to speak Punjabi. I do,
Yeah.
but I think sometimes just the moment just gets to you, and you just want to say what you want to say quickly so that you get their attention, and it ends up
Yeah.
in English. But
It's going to be tough now because we don't live with my parents anymore.
yeah,
And so, my parents just speak Punjabi
right.
only.
I mean, they
So
still here. They're right next door, but
it's not the
it's
same.
not the same.
It's not the
Yeah,
same. So it's just, they're not going to have that constantly. But we got to put them to
yeah,
Punjabi school. I got to start doing it more. We got to start watching Punjabi movies. At
yeah,
least they listen to Punjabi songs. I think that's one
yeah.
good thing.
Punjabi ganes on there, they do, and
Yeah.
they love
Yeah.
the song. They love
Yeah.
dancing to
Yes.
Diljit and Gurdas.
Yes. Yes.
Gurdas especially. I love
Yes.
that they listen to Gurdas Man
Right.
because
Me too. Hey,
yeah,
me too. They're my
I
kids.
know.
So now people know.
That must have been
Like,
like the happiest moment of your life when Muskan first said, "I want to listen to Gurdas." What song? Keda gana sunna? Gurdas
yeah,
Man.
I gotta take her to the next concert, or she's gonna
Yeah,
not
and she was
love.
upset
Yeah,
when we
she was
didn't take
upset.
her.
She was upset. But no, so we gotta do that. Watch more Punjabi movies to get the Punjabi element. Start taking a
Yeah.
Punjabi class, Gurmukhi
I
class, and
think just
Gurdwara.
speaking Punjabi,
Yeah, and
we
speaking,
have to
and we gotta
start.
speak more.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally. They gotta
It's tough to
be in that
change
environment.
ourselves.
Yeah, no, that's something we gotta work on.
Yeah.
That is something we have to work on.
Yeah. So this
Yeah.
year they're going to start Punjabi school,
Right,
learning Punjabi Gurmukhi,
right,
Jinni vi kar sakde a. They're
right.
going to start learning that for
Hopefully,
sure.
starting this year for the next 5.
Yes.
So
So
yeah,
summer vacation is going to be Punjabi classes.
busy,
Yeah.
busy.
So the next one is teaching the value. How are we teaching them the value and importance of money?
I don't know. I think they're too young so far to know the value of money,
Or
but
how do
I
we
don't get
hope
them
to?
everything that they want.
Hmm.
I don't give them every, even though my favorite store is the dollar store when I take them there. I'm like, sure. And she's like, and Muskan's like, okay, I'm
Oh,
going to have
God.
this. And then she picks up 2 things, right? And it's $1.25 each. So that's why I love that store because I know they're going to use it for like 3 days and it's not going to, it's going to be somewhere else. But she's like, okay, she picks up 2 things. She's like, Papa, I really want this. Can I have this third thing, please? And I'm like, pause. And I'm like, okay, this is a lot. And so, and then she takes, I don't know. I mean, I'm trying to be like, you can't have everything you want,
Yes. Yes.
right? $1 goes. I mean, they don't, the other thing is they don't know how other people live. They live in
Hmm.
very privileged lifestyles right now.
Yes.
So they don't know how people live. That's why people take them back to India,
Hmm.
show them India, show them how the real world is living.
Yep.
People take them to do charitable things because this is how the world is living.
Yes.
And you're a very lucky person to be living the way you are, ordering what you want,
Yeah.
asking me for something, and I order it from Amazon right away.
Yeah.
So, but I think once they get older, because I am into personal finance and all that stuff, we could teach them more about the value of the dollar, how to make more money with money.
Yeah.
I'm not. There's families out there and parents out there that never had their kids work a day in their life.
Me.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I
But you
mean,
actually knew
I
the value of
worked.
money.
Yeah.
But I've worked. I started working since I was 16 till
Hmm.
now. So I started working very young,
Yeah.
just to see how. So I'm even though if we're loaded. I'm still gonna, once my kids are 16, 17, you're getting jobs.
Mm-hmm.
You are going to go out and see how other people make money,
Yeah.
learn the value of a dollar, learn how much you're making an hour and how much it costs. So I'm all about that. I'm not about like being the privileged parent and be like, oh, my kids don't need to work, it's all
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
No, 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 you are working. As soon as you could able to work, you are going to work and get out there, and
Yeah.
then know the real value of how other people live and how hard is it to make a buck.
Yeah. No, I agree. When they get to that age, definitely. I think before that, at least in my opinion, I try to tell them, of course, they're not going to know about money right now, right? But they see us work. They see us on, our computers. When they come home, I'm still working. I want to explain to them why. Why am I working? Why are you working?
Mm,
When you're on a call, I got to tell them, let Bapu work. जो काम खत्म हो जाएगा, then we can talk to him. Why? So again, maybe I like to be like very upfront with them about the why. So I think that's the important. And
mm,
I tell them we work hard and we have a job so we can make money. Why do we need money? I think I learned this early when I started watching a YouTube channel called the Grant Cardone, Elena and Grant Cardone. They talked a lot about money, and sometimes I think people don't want to talk about money because it's just something that's scarce and comes with fear and other feelings. It's personal. But I tell them money gives you choices. We do this so then we can buy what we want. So maybe we can go out to eat. Maybe we can go on the vacation. But if you don't let me work, then we can't do those things.
mhm.
I think that they understand that and
They
they
do.
think about that.
Yeah.
So they don't have to understand money, but I think they do understand the why. So that maybe that might stick with them as they get older.
No, it's good to instill that.
Yeah.
It's good to instill that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. And this goes back to money, speaking about money, teaching them about giving back, das Wand. We
Right.
want to definitely teach them about that.
Yeah. Teach them
And
early because a lot of adults don't know.
oh man, das
So,
Wand, that's a big chunk of your salary.
yeah.
Je tu de rहे ho, if das Wand,
This
is
one, there's
going
also,
out.
yeah, time and money.
Yeah, time and money, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Time and money. Yeah. Are you giving it to good cause, a good cause, whatever that cause is?
Yeah.
But yeah.
So
Yeah.
time meaning, are you going out? Are you volunteering somewhere?
Right.
Are you
Right.
giving back somehow to those who don't have as much as you?
Right.
Um, yeah.
Right. Yeah, it's
So
not all about doing
we don't
seva
do
and
that.
Gurudwara. It's not all about doing seva and Gurudwara. Seva
Right.
and
This has nothing to do
Gurudwara,
with Gurdwaras.
seva and Gurudwara is a foundational element.
Mm,
Yes, it's great. I think every kid should do it. Adults should do it. It's a foundational element, but it doesn't stop there. That should
mm,
be like the basics.
yeah.
What else are you doing? How else are you giving? Just because you're giving $1, $5, $10 in the Gurdwara,
Hmm.
that doesn't. That's most people just do that and they don't be charitable anywhere else.
Yeah.
So where else are you charitable?
Right.
Right. So
Right.
how do we teach our kids that? So
Yeah.
I think once they get a little older, taking them out places, helping the less fortunate. There's all these programs out there. My cousin was telling me about people having birthday parties and throwing birthday parties for people that can't
Oh
because they don't have the
wow.
money. And there's this whole program. And I think I got all lopsided after COVID because you
Hmm.
can't go to people's houses or events.
Hmm.
But now I think it's coming back. So I want to do those things because kids
That's a
love birthdays
beautiful
too. But now we're
idea.
celebrating birthdays for
Yeah.
kids that are less fortunate. I mean, so
Right.
things like that. That it's all in my head. It's gonna come. It's gonna come. So I
Yeah.
just waited for them. They are just a little bit older, so
Hmm.
then she could like understand these things. Because then that's gonna be like a religious thing where we're gonna
Hmm.
do it all the time. There's
Yeah.
not like one and done type stuff. There's something that you take time out and money out
Yes.
to do.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Which I think it's going to come soon, that time. So
it is.
as
It
long
is.
as we are prepared and we know, okay, this is how we want to instill that in them, I think
Right.
that's good. And
Right.
actually, how can we do that now? I think we kind of touched on this a couple of days ago. We gave away we had a jungle gym, and the kids, it's like one of their favorite toys. They would come home, hang from the monkey bars. They both loved it for so long, but it was time to give it away. Maybe, let someone else have fun with it. And it was upsetting for Muskan, especially the older one. But I think I tried to tell her that, there's someone who doesn't have this right now in their home, and let's give it to them so they can enjoy it as much as you did. So I thinking about what other people have and don't have, um, and other people's experiences, and people live differently.
Yeah.
So I think that kind of uh, triggered a thought in her head that, yeah, maybe this might make someone else happy. And she was okay.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. No, she was. She was. She got ice cream that day.
yeah,
She was fine.
of course. Of course. It's probably after I left, you gave her ice cream. Um, so I think we touched on good manners, having social etiquette, which is a big thing.
I think social etiquette's a huge thing,
Hmm.
actually, because think about it. If we go to someone's house
Hmm.
and they have kids and the kids are just socially bad, like they're running around, they don't get along with our kids,
Hmm.
they say things to our kids, or they don't get along with us, our kids don't like those kids, we're
Yeah.
not going back.
Yeah.
Trust me, we are not going back to your house.
Yeah.
So it's a big thing from like, I think like 2 to 6 to
Hmm.
teach your kids all those skills of like saying "sat sri akal" to a parent, or "hi" or whatever
Yeah.
you're saying, to the parents, being nice to the kids, sharing with the kids, getting along with the kids.
Yeah.
Then people want you back.
Yeah.
But if I see, and we have gone where the kids are just messed up, we haven't gone back. Like I'm just like I'm not hanging out with those people no more. Seriously. So
Yeah.
that's why it's a big thing to teach your kids early on, so then they get along. So other adults want to be next to
Hmm.
them. Your
Hmm.
kids want to be next to them. That's
Right.
how I think.
Yeah. And they're kids, so they don't say it all the time, but I think we do try to emphasize कि नहीं, you address somebody, जो कोई आंदा, or you go somewhere, सत श्री अकाल बुलानी है, and
Right.
make sure we serve somebody when they come to our house, make them feel welcome. So yeah, those
Right.
are things we try to do.
Yeah.
Um, but when it comes to people, I think, like, I try to think about it, what can I teach them now? Of course, as they get older, they're going to have friends that they like or don't like. People say kids can be mean. They're going to come into those experiences on their own. But I try to teach them now that, you know be kind, be respectful, but we don't have to like everybody.
Right.
Everybody doesn't have to like you, and you don't have to like everybody, but we always have to be respectful. So
Yeah.
I think I try to stress that because they understand that. Sometimes people are different personalities. That's okay. We don't have to be friends with them, but you do have to be respectful. So I think that's something they can understand.
Yeah.
Um, we talked about a lot.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're coming to the end here.
Yeah.
So how do we navigate or handle chores, cleaning up after yourself, like doing the basic things, house chores, cleaning up.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. You have this thing where you don't want to reward them, and I think it's a good thing.
mhm.
Like we're not rewarding you to do your chores. This is something you do.
Yes.
It's like people rewarding me because I took my daughter to the bus stop so she go to school. Like these are things I should do. Like I'm the father.
You fed your child.
Yeah,
Great
yeah,
job.
great job. Like so you're making the chores out. Like no, this is your responsibility. These are your chores.
Yeah.
This is not something you get allowance for, or this is like you get a gift for. This
Yeah.
is something you do. So I think that was a good thing you did.
Yeah.
No, because I totally agree.
Right.
Yeah,
I think you can enforce that a little more because
yeah,
the kids don't really do much around the house, but I try to, like, laundry. It's like, for the life of me, I can never get a hold of the laundry. It will get into the laundry. I will turn on the cycle. I'll put the sabun in, but it just can't get folded. It's just there after it's dried.
it's
Can't fold
everybody's
them.
problem.
Can't put away the laundry. Sometimes I don't know what's clean, what's dirty, and then fair tote jande hai because I just don't know anymore. So now I feel like they're old enough. I just take them upstairs and we're like, okay, Saturday morning, let's just put away our own clothes. You don't have to fold it, but just put them away. So, and it's something fun that I do with them now. But I think I'm trying to teach them in that way that, this is a part of your daily life. Cleaning up after yourself, doing your laundry, putting away your own clothes. This is your space. It's not my job. It's not your job. We're a team. So I try to tell them that, if I'm in the kitchen, I'm not going to say, "Oh, can you help me with this?" You're not helping me. We're all eating dinner. We're all doing this as a team,
Right.
So can you work with me in the kitchen? So I think just those subtle changes, and like what vocabulary you use, that helps too. You don't want to give them the idea that, oh, it's my job and they're just helping me. I try to say that, no, good job working in the kitchen, you know. So I try to do things like that on a day-to-day basis. But
Yeah.
they're still a little young, I think. But we got to be on the same page.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that
Yeah. No.
starts
No.
with,
I want them to
it
do
goes
stuff.
back to setting an example. So why don't you start washing the dishes? Set an example.
We have a dishwasher. Okay. Nice. Nice. No, I agree. I
Yeah.
agree. I'm with you. I'm with you. But I want to wrap it up. I want to bring a Sikh angle into
What
this.
about
Okay.
what are we doing that what are we not doing that we should be doing? You want to talk
Okay.
about that?
Okay. Well, we already
Or you want
probably mixed
to?
it
Okay.
in already,
Okay,
no?
you go.
All right.
Sorry.
All right. To wrap it up, I want to bring a Sikh angle into this.
Mm-hmm.
So, because I think a lot of people that I see, parents, so a lot of parents that I see, they're just so frustrated half the time. Like
Mm.
when I'm talking to parents, and they're always like, "Oh man, these kids. Oh wow." It's like, man, what are you talking about? Like I don't have. Luckily, we don't have that. I think I'm never frustrated with
No.
my kids. I love being with my kids. They
Yeah.
don't
I mean, we
frustrate
get
me.
frustrated,
No,
but
but they
we
don't frustrate me where I have to
yeah.
tell another person that
Yeah.
they're
We don't need
frustrating
time
me.
away.
Like, yeah, yeah. I don't need time away from my kids.
Yeah.
Or I don't need to tell any of my friends, like, man, my kids,
Yeah.
because that doesn't even like occur to me.
Yeah.
But there's like parents out there because they're just so frustrated. They want to do the best for their kids. So let me just, which is like weird. It's like, okay, you had these kids by choice, right? Like, like, hello, what do you think
Like
parenting was? Like, oh, your life is going to be the same? You're going to sit down and go to watch a movie without any interruptions?
yeah.
No, but that just comes with it. But let me bring a Sikh angle to this because I think so many people are worried. Chinta
Mm-hmm.
vich peya, right? So many people are just worried about how am I going to raise my kids? How they're going to turn out? Oh my God, are they healthy? Their education and all those things.
Mm.
And so I think, and people have to remember that the gurus had kids too,
Mm-hmm.
right? They had marriages. They had kids. The guru's kids didn't turn out. Guru Nanak Sahib's kids did not turn out to be Sikhs.
Mm.
But that doesn't
Right.
mean Guru Nanak didn't love them, educate them, sweat for them, work for them to be who they are. So just because your kid doesn't turn out the way you want it to turn out, don't get upset. It's okay. This is where Sikhi comes in. These are the lessons from Sikhi. Not all the Guru's kids became great Sikhs themselves, or
Mm-hmm.
great leaders themselves, or great human beings themselves. So it's something that we want to, think about.
Mm.
And also, since you're very into gardening now, and you were just
Yeah, as of the last 2 weeks.
and you were just
I'm
it's like a
obsessed with it.
old lady thing, and so you're obsessed with like planting this stuff, and things are not coming out right,
Yeah.
or oh, mera patta ud gaya, or this or that, whatever it is, right? But and so you were frustrated with your gardening, and so then I gave you a Sufi line because it just occurred to me, um, by Mia Muhammad Baksh, who said, "Mali da kam pani dena, teo par mashka pave, Malik da kam fal ful lona, teo lave ya na lave." Right,
Mm.
and this is something that you do with your kids too. Our job as caretakers, as gardeners, is to feed them, plant them, do all that, do whatever they just take care of
Yeah.
them. But how they turn out and the end result, you leave that up to Vaheguru,
Yeah.
really.
It's a good
So
analogy.
yeah. So this is how you're gonna.
Yeah.
This is what I believe. This is I think Sikhi believes too. You work for them, you sweat for them, you take care of them. But the end result, well,
Mm.
Malik de Hatwicha, if you're into Hukam, if you
Mm.
believe in those Sikhi aspects.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I believe. So that's why I'm na chinta bhi nahi karta. I don't
Mm.
worry at all. I worry about the only thing I worried about is okay, am I, doing the basics, providing for them, fueling their passions, those types of things. But the end result of it, like we were talking about grades and all those other things, and how they're going to be, are they going to be good Sikhs when they go up? Are they going to be good Punjabis and human
Yeah.
beings? Sada kamma inanu take care karo as best of our ability.
And to be that person yourself.
To be that person, of course, because
Yeah.
they're going to look at you.
Yes.
So to be that person ourselves,
Mm.
to be one with Ikonkar, and hopefully we instill those Ikonkar characteristics in them.
Mm.
But the end result, o malik de hat vicha.
Yeah. That's beautifully said.
Yeah.
I totally agree. As a new gardener, totally agree.
Great, great.
Yeah, Ikonkar uh, is that's something we got to teach the kids too.
Right.
But that might be another podcast.
Yeah, yeah,
How do we talk about Waiguru and Ikonkar?
yeah.
But that's a beautifully put analogy. So it's a
Thanks.
good place to end.
Thanks. All right. All right. Good job. Later.